snap straight into it. Don't have to start off with anything too big, but it's No Spin Podcast, episode 21, the Get Bodied Festival review, and we are here joined by the impresario of the No.1 Network, Kyel GOLLY. Thanks for joining us, man.
What's up, man?
Fuck
Cheers
yeah.
for having me.
Fuck yeah. And he's got the full video set up, man. This is breaking new ground for a very, I would say, now I feel, you make me feel like a super, like, lazy and inefficient podcast.
Oh, come on, man.
No, we
you
just,
hustle,
I just
my
was
man.
suck. I was just hard
you
on the.
hustle hard,
Nah,
G. Season 2
we just
already.
love doing, I just love interviewing rappers and learning stuff about them. And then, you know, when the media side came into it, I was like, got to learn about these guys too. So I'm glad you could join us. And we're here to talk about, on Friday, the 27th April, I think there was it's a pretty unforgettable lineup. I mean, they said they're going to do like another one in Melbourne or something like that.
Yeah, Brizzy as well, man.
Fuck
yeah,
yeah.
man.
It's like printing money. It's like printing money.
Crazy lineup too.
Crazy lineup. First, I just want to say it was like I got there and I was like, this is an odd venue, like, because there was just half like old rough guys watching the football and shit.
Man,
I was kind of like,
funny
what an interesting, it was a bit polarizing. Like,
everyone was feeling that a bit, but
the classic local sports pub, like so much hardwood furnishing and shit like that. I was like, this all right.
Can't get more Aussie than that, man.
Yeah, man, like seeing some real tired eyes watching the football over
chicken
a pint.
palmy and a VB.
Fuck oath. Yeah, no, but it did end up working out really well. Like, I didn't feel like there was any culture clashing of those guys getting pissed or anything like that. It was
man. Everyone coming together.
And for me, it was. I mean, running into you was amazing. I saw you and I was like, because I went alone, so I was like, man, I hope I can fucking.
How'd you know it was me? How'd you figure it out?
Bro, I know everything about you.
How'd you know?
How did I know?
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah.
Because I've researched and I'd seen you at
Didn't
gigs
Nev
before.
tell you what I was wearing?
No. I saw you filming at older gigs.
No.
I was like, I had you sent. I was like, it's probably him.
Legend, man.
It's probably him, man.
No,
and I got to meet Wombat as well. That was incredible.
Yeah, awesome dude.
Yeah, and you actually gave me like the Wombat was like, who is this cunt? You were like, he's alright. And I was like, sick.
We'll put each other up.
He was
man.
wary as hell, man. But like even seeing like Kid KEARVE and Fortay was nuts. Like, I did not expect them to be there at all.
All the elements.
Yeah, it was wild. Because, like, you just see it all, like, on YouTube and all that stuff. And then you end up seeing it together. And as you said, they really are just, like, you know, to an extent, regular dudes.
Yeah,
like,
man, walking by, just going for a
super regular dudes. Yeah, it was a weird venue setup. So, like, so many, like, nooks and crannies, like, in that thing. So you just, like, walking around the corner and, like, bumping into, like, I get starstruck with everyone, so I was just like, what the fuck is going
VIP
on?
section with the security
guard.
Yeah.
Mate, I wasn't going anywhere near that. But then obviously 111 opened it, and fuck oath, man, like they were a huge pull for me because I've been trying to get Nick to check out their stuff for ages, but you don't really feel that sort of music. But I tried to get you there. I loved it. Do you like their stuff?
I dig it, man.
I really like
some
their
energy.
Stuff. I love like. Doozy, like the 111's Go Hard one, is just like a gnarly track.
111's Go Hard. Yeah, you can't help it, man. Energy, like especially live as well.
Doozy! Yeah, that shit is crazy. And one thing that surprised me is how physically big their two rappers are. They're fucking huge, man.
Yeah.
Big boys. Big boys.
Staunch over the stage.
Yeah, big boys, but super nice. And they had the tough job of like starting as well. So like, because they got to, you got to work the energy up. Everybody's in like their various corners of the room and stuff. But I felt like they had, because I'd seen videos of their launch event not too long ago, and it was like just packed and insane. So I guess it was kind of interesting because they were paying to people were listening and stuff like that, but it wasn't like the energy hadn't been built yet. Like if they'd been later on, obviously maybe it would have been at a better place.
Yeah.
But I just was impressed at how, like, I love it when rappers do their own, like, bars, like every single bar of the verse and stuff like that. And I could appreciate, like, even, Dom, who, Little DeJong, the singer, like, can actually sing.
Yeah,
like, it's not like an auto-tune thing or anything.
Man,
like, he can actually sing, and he did an amazing job. And, I talked to them all because after I had a few drinks, I was just like network mode in a sense. I was just like, hey man, what's up, bro? And
there's a lot of artists in one building.
Oh hell yeah! I was like, if you can't capitalize on this, man, you're in the wrong industry. But I was talking to Obi, the guy with the really long hair, and I actually got to witness for the first time. This guy came up to him and was like, "Hey man, can I freestyle for you?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "Sure, man." And so we were just outside in the smokers area, and Obi was just beatboxing, and this guy was just rapping to him, and it was pretty cringy, but it was just sort of like
it's the classic.
Yeah, like I'm sure that happens to Nerve and shit all the time. Hey man, can I spit some bars for you, bro?
Yeah, carry their resume around.
Yeah, exactly. Like, no, I've got sick tracks, man. And I think it was pretty amazing to get out of a Mitchos set, to get a Mitchos set, a 40 set, a Curvy set, and Kozer as well.
Yeah, man, Mitchos gang, yeah.
And that, like, I was a fan of Mitchos, and I'm definitely a fan of Curvy, but 40 I'd not really listened to too much.
Yeah,
even though he's like probably the real OG. Yeah.
Yeah, Fortay is big, man. He's got a label as well, which I think, yeah, they rep on.
They because I'd seen Curvy from doing stuff with TKO, like when we were young or something like that, where it's like I think it's got a few million or something on. But there was man, Mitchos has a really commanding presence. Hey, that dude is tough looking cunt, man. For
he
sure.
holds the stage, man.
And he's got really hard vocals. I think they would sort of had a bit of onstage banter about just like being like pretty heavy on the piss that night. But I think and like Curvy always smiling to show his grills. Like I think it was probably the only set of grills there. But the one thing I want to say about Fortay is like, he is an amazing performer. That dude is super practiced. Like, I guess just being like the OG. But I went back and listened to a few of his songs. I think he has some of the most like some really iconic like Australian trap lines. Like he
comes from the old school.
Yeah,
song,
like
man.
he had a line where it said it's
the
from
2000s.
From his song Riding, which I didn't think came out a few years ago, but plus he's scarred up like a motherfucker. But he said, "What way will it go? No crystal ball, just a ball full of crystal, never missing calls." And I was like, oh, so hard, man.
Yeah, man. Different side of life. Bro.
What the fuck? And and like Curvy, just a nuts rapper. Like, did you catch much of their set?
No, not too much.
Oh,
I was there, man. I got a few photos.
Yeah, he
got amongst it, but
because he's got like Curvy's got like his own flow, and it's very fast. And like doing your studio vocals live is like, that's every rapper's nightmare, because it just becomes a million times harder, and your fans want to hear it.
And that's the proper flex, man. You can do it live, like that's
his delivery was gnarly, man. And I can't believe how good Fortay was. Like, he shone that set, man. He ran that set for sure. Like, it was Mitchos was billed, but that was 40 for sure. Fortay is nuts. And like Kozer, I didn't know too much about Kozer other than
he's pretty young, man.
Yeah, he had 17. Fangirls.
Yeah,
he had chicks in the crowd who were just like there to see him, and then he was doing stuff and they were gushing and shit like that. And I was like, what the. And he also, Kozer really held it down with like doing the ad libs for like, not the ad libs, but like finishing off like long bars for his boys.
He went hard. Yeah,
and that is energy. Like, that's really. But I think that was great value for the punters, that Mitchos set, because you got some like, I mean, people, a couple million views on a video is pretty nuts for the scene. So.
Yeah, and they were representing Sydney to some extent.
Yeah,
as well, man.
And then Alex Jones got up with Mitchos to do Putting That Work In, which I think has the really iconic.
Keep talking up, then when I see you eye to eye, you end up in the ICU. Transparent, a mirror, and I see through. Like the pipe that you put your eyes into. You got double.
Classic.
That guy's a nuts rapper, man.
As soon as he got up on the stage,
were you up on like the LGs and stuff like that?
No, man. I don't know them that well to do that.
Yeah. I wasn't up on it at all, so it was all pretty new to me. Like, when people like, "Hey man, did you know Son of Sam's here? Do you know Son of Sam's here?"
Yeah.
But like people were there just to see him as well. And then I went
back
and watched.
Man. It's been ages.
Watched some of his old stuff, and he was like on like pretty early lad rap, I guess. Like like
both of them, they really held the scene.
Yeah,
man. I think it's been a few years gap, and that's why it's epic. They're coming back.
Like the polo shirts with the collars popped and shit like that, and like selling pills in the club and all that.
Yep.
Like just a part of the scene that I guess the hip hop that I'm sort of following now hadn't really covered. So it was cool to sort of, because they must have been holding the scene down for ages.
They were, and the young generation as well, and there wasn't really that many other people doing it, man.
But dear Lord, Alex Jones can just spit. That guy's like, just
machine.
gnarly.
Yeah.
Like even on the Triple J Cypher, like just disgusting. Like too good, man. Like to anyone that's ever rapped before, watching Alex Jones do it has got to be the most frustrating thing of all time.
He's experienced king, man, straight up.
So
like,
good too. And
punchlines, the grime, like all the elements.
do anything.
Putting that Aussie flavor on grime as well, like it's unique.
Still got amphetamines under my tongue.
Yeah, man. It's pioneered that style.
Gnarly. And then Shadow from Perth, who I wasn't up on at all, really. I hadn't heard. I'd only seen his name a few times when I was doing research on other rappers, as him being like the grime guy from Perth.
Yeah, he got a lot of attention, like a while back. Like,
when it was
and
doing all the Oz grime
big
stuff.
attention, yeah, when not many people had really started coming out in the scene, and yeah, he goes hard, man. Real nice bloke, and
just
strong flavor, like. Yeah,
super solid. Like can do the grime and the boom bap, and like really held the stage and did like a super dope energy. There was like not from him at all, but it was funny in the crowd. There was like a lot of, and it's probably just people smoking weed before going to a place with tons of people in the room, but like lots of drug-induced social anxiety. Like that's what saved me. The Sydney gig, from the crowd, yeah. That's what saved me, because I've had that before at gigs where I go there and I'm like just a bit sketched out, so I'm like a bit in my own shell, just talking to Nick and stuff like that. Because I was just on the piss, it was fine, but saw a lot of people that were just like hanging out, man, just stressing out. And also like some legit super hard fucking fanboys were like gushing and whispering to their mate, be like, "Hey man, do you see little Sknow over there? You see little Sknow?" Like that. You know, that's like a healthy thing for a scene.
It's the stuff that made us, when we were younger, get behind the artists that we really digged.
Yeah.
And like that proper energy and that culture, and seeing that is awesome. Like it's growing.
Yeah, exactly. Like just watching somebody just like point out little Sknow. He might have been like 2 meters away and just be like, holy shit. Like they're not going to approach him because it's too big for him. But
who
like,
knows, man? They might inspire those kids to start riding bars, and then boom.
And then it was Nerve and Wombat, and like, are you surprised?
Boom.
An amazing set, like, of course.
Those two are so experienced together, man.
And also, like, to Nerve's credit, he helps Wombat. Like, not helps Wombat, but, like, he brings, like, the Trojan horse for Wombat. Like,
Nerve's so experienced in his own solo as well, man. Like, everything with the syntax and his own solo work, and the amount of gigs they did in 2017 as well. Like,
so many gigs.
Yeah, Nerve's really developed as, like, a solid MC, like.
It's funny just to see, like, it must be even funnier for you, but, like, seeing people taking photos with those kind of guys and stuff like that, because, like, they're like, you're amazing, like, this is the craziest thing ever.
It's
and then
fucking sick, man.
It's so cool, right?
You take it back to day one when everything, like, it was like having faith in the potential that could happen, because at that point we never even thought it could happen.
Yeah.
Man. Like, so it's crazy to think that.
It's pretty cool though, man.
Yeah.
Like, see a fucking,
Can kind of take it a bit more seriously now.
Did anyone else come up to you and like, hey man, are you Kyel GOLLY?
Oh man, no, I keep it pretty
Yeah, I know you keep it
low
low key, but it's gonna happen, bro.
Yeah, some people can put
it's
it
gonna
together.
happen.
If I got the camera or something in my hand, maybe, yeah.
I think obviously, like, people, but even like, Body Bag, he's pretty low key as well, but I think he's maybe a little bit more out there, I suppose. But I don't think he got too hassled or anything like that for photos and shit. But I feel like people should be giving him his respect in public as well.
He gets his respect, man. I think at one point they were chanting Body Bag in the whole crowd and everything.
That might have been near the end, because I don't know about what's going on at the end.
No, he respect where it's due.
Wombat is like
machine, man.
Machine.
Also a crazy pioneer of Australian grime.
Yeah, man. and also has like the mysterious public persona as well. Like,
suits him perfectly.
Doesn't give too much, and like, but a lot of people were there just to see Wombat as well. Like, and some girls too, man, because he's a pretty dude. Like, he kind of got his. Yeah, he's a beautiful guy, man.
And they glisten.
Oh, that watch out video, bro. The watch out video, man. It's crazy. Yeah. But he's also like your favorite rapper as well. Like, all the other rappers go to see Wombat. Like,
he's doing. Man, he's not just rapping fast, man. You can hear. You can hear the way he's punching it. Like,
everything. That
crazy.
His recent, Body the Booth is just, because that when I was saying like how like lines become like almost the sum of the song. Like, just a line is so good that song becomes iconic. And that, like, I wasn't drinking Red Bull, I was sniffing petrol. Like, if you think drinking Red Bull as a cool kid was wild, like, you know, fuck, it was heavy. And then it was like Son of Sam and Alex Jones, and that was an interesting one for me because that was when the crowd would have pulled together for Wombat and Nerve, but it really like got super dense. And I got like adopted by these two guys because I was trying to find somewhere to sit down because I was just fucked at this point. And I'm going to give him a shout out, Chris and Jesse Hawk. I went up to him and I was like, can I sit down here? And he went, yeah, for a bit, mate. And I was like, I'm here to review it, bro. Like, do you love these guys? The minute I said that, he was like, no, sit down here, man. Like, I'm related to Bob Hawke.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
I'll fill you in. So, yeah, he is like, Son of Sam was like Sydney's dude, man. Like, they were so, like, him and Alex Jones, like, they were just going through all their old tracks, like, the Speed of Sound that they did. They have a song called Speed of Sound, and I think it's about, like, breaking up with a girl or something. I think it was Chris Hawk. He was basically crying during the song.
Yeah, man, they hit.
Just feeling it, like
man,
that, yeah. That's pretty beautiful.
Different side of life that some people can relate to.
Yeah, and Alex Jones is just gnarly. Like I've never seen him. I'd never seen him live before. I probably had watched maybe a few of his tracks, but the guy's on another level.
Yeah,
like,
machine. Yeah.
As far as like
performer,
solid rapper, like just good at what he does, like just a machine. And he had like the real kind of boss energy around him too.
Yeah,
like
straight up.
He was walking around and people just splitting, and it's just like Alex Jones, man, for sure. And yeah, because I was going through all their old songs, and yeah, they just have it was. And also Alex Jones, I guess, has the kind of Wombat thing in that he's your favorite rapper's favorite rapper as well. Like, because Mitchos was just losing his mind watching Alex Jones go live, which is nice to see. Like, it's good to see, rappers get fucking pumped on. Like, even at I keep going back to the Triple J Underground cypher just because I've been fucking banging it so much because it's so good. But, like, just watching each other, like, feel each other's bars, it's just, like, you know, it's kind of like...
Yeah, it's proper friend vibe, crew vibe.
It adds to it, yeah. It's sort of nice to see them all getting on. It was funny because a lot of rap fans, like, they'll say their favorite track was, like, I would say the hardest hitting one, like, of anyone's thing. Sure, like, you know... what is it? Still a Westie or something is Mitchos' really hard track, and everybody knows it. But like people really knew like LG's is like even more emotional tracks, like the ones where they were talking about real shit and all that. So you know that's sort of
they've been around for a bit
growing
as well,
up.
man.
Like people grew up with them.
Exactly. It's been a ritual track for them.
Wasn't just for their energy.
Yeah.
And then you had Chillin' had come out, and obviously he'd probably had like such a hell of a night already, man. But he fucking destroys it.
Yeah, he's Commander, man.
Because I seen the Commander, bro, the Kush Commander, man, 420 Commander.
He gets in the crowd.
Because I saw him and Talakai perform twice before. Once at the Body something, I can't remember what they were calling it. Get Body tour. Yeah, the Get Body tour. They were nuts. And then they did one below Nerve and Wombat as well. And they are just they've got some of the best chemistry of two rappers that are ever.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's crazy.
Those Body.
Chill's pretty experienced as well. I mean, he goes way back into the scene, man.
Well, Talakai has been doing it for ages.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, straight out of Newcastle, man. Like, he's a lovely dude as well. I didn't talk to Chill, but because he was... Yeah, I didn't want to. The guy was clearly busy. I wasn't going to be like...
Oh, man, yeah. Classic,
hey, man, what's up,
many a thing to worry about.
Yeah, hey, man, how's it going?
Those two, they're bringing a unique sound, man.
Yeah.
That hasn't really been done before.
You could have told me that he owned Sydney, and I would have believed it. Like, it was nuts. And he is really the boss, man. Like, I just remember just being like the commander, like so commanding, and stayed organizing. It's not easy to have to do the get people off the stage thing as well, like only rappers on the stage, like, you know, that is kind of a hard thing to do because people who are on stage are gonna be like, oh man, why?
Yeah, you gotta have that charisma behind you.
Yeah, but he's just like, no, we got to keep it going.
Yeah,
and he fucking destroyed it. I was very, very impressed by their set, and just to like, because you've seen a lot of gigs where, you know, everything comes off the tracks a little bit and stuff like that. But like the Commander, bro.
Yeah, word for word.
And Nerve fully does that in Brisbane as well. Like, because he's got like, you know, the ragtag fucking, you know, keep them all together and shit.
Yeah, someone's got to come through, man. Yeah, no.
Stay harder. Does that ever fall to you?
No, fuck, man. If I'm on the camera or on the stage, I'll freak out a bit. You know, I'm behind the camera for a reason.
That's true, yeah.
But yeah. All
right, well, that's true. Before I get into the sort of final set, I'm going to give a public, and we've already done it a million times, but man, Kyel GOLLY, the man, bro. Behind the camera, but so influential.
Try to keep it humble. But
yeah, I know. But people, you got to get gassed up a little bit, man. Come on, you fucking destroy it. That's wild.
It's been crazy, like, coming together with all these boys, man. We just randomly came through mutual connections. Like, it was all natural. Nerve really put me up, like, trusting me, like, with ideas and working together. And, you know, we went down to Tassie and Melbourne together, like, meeting Greeley and Fracture and Retainer for the first time. And, like, so, like, straight from day one, man, there's been crazy energy from everyone, man. It's just been growing. And that's like the network is coming through.
Yeah, you put out dope product too, like, you know, and that's probably the reason it all happened. But you put very polished products out that like aren't any home jobs or anything like that. So
cheers, man. Yeah, I think
no, you fucking do, man.
It was it was definitely something. The scene was, you know, it had that very. I don't want to say, you know, that Hustle Hard TV was very strong. You had that Sydney style, and the videography side of things wasn't, you know, the strongest, and that culture, that, and the stuff I grew up on that got me inspired, you know, looking overseas in the UK and America, like that real cool crew, like subtle stuff you see in the room, man, like posters on the wall and like that kind of thing.
You're damn right that like some of the, like, I'm going to take it to the Cursor age, and I've mentioned it before, but like Cursor was uploading videos to YouTube with the .mp4 on the title. Like, that's raw.
Yeah. He came in straight from the raw stage.
And that worked for him because, like, Cursor is raw as, you know, like...
But he also got creative with it as well, man. Like, again, like, looking back at the stuff that inspired, like, one takes, that was a big element that we really tried to pick back up again. Like, you know, like bright lights, Cursor on the couch, like, lights in his face, and he's got the shades on, and, like, them running through the park and stuff, man. Like, they were creative to some extent with that.
Absolutely.
And then, I think a lot of people just started, you know, just mash a few one shots together in front of a graph piece or on a drain, and like, trying to do something different.
Yeah, but then again, the if it's not authentic, it wouldn't work. Like, you know, if you didn't really believe that Cursor was like that fucking, you know, Campbelltown lad that was you know, selling shard and shit, then all that stuff wouldn't have fallen into place. Because, I mean, we've seen, like, Nick, and how I met Nick was because he was living at a share house, and we one time heard Nick wasn't there, but we all heard this music out the front, and there was someone, like a Brisbane rapper, I won't expose them, but they were filming their video in front of our house, like, you know, this is a badass house with graffiti on the fence and shit. It was like, you're supposed to be the tough guys, man. What are you doing? Like, why are you filming out the front of this place?
Get out of here.
Yeah, exactly. Like, go get your own get your own share house and take it for you know.
Yeah, his mum and dad wouldn't let them film.
Yeah, exactly. Like, like, you know, we're looking through the louvers like, oh shit, hang on, we know those guys. Like,
shit.
No, so it all comes down to authenticity, I suppose, as far as like actually being able, and that's
me and Nerve were living together, man.
Yeah, so you guys met at uni, right?
No, I think we met through Web Shells.
Oh, you just happened to be in the same uni course.
Yeah, we connected it back together. Yeah, we happened to be in the same uni course, but
man, just could have been two trains in the night,
exactly, though. Man.
But luckily, and so then I think to finish it up, it was like I think they called it a 201 set, but the HUSKii, Tryl, and Lil Sknow.
Yeah,
to finish it up. But at this point, man,
trap sessions, man,
this is where I need a bit of your memory if you got it, because I wrote stuff down, but I do not really remember those sets at all. I have no idea where I was at that point in the night.
You're not gonna lie, man. I did have a bit of fun that night too.
I was super drunk. Man. I remember. And it was great for me to see Lil Sknow, because I'd talked to him during the night because he was just chilling around.
Yeah, he's a G.
He's so cool, man.
Yeah, absolute G, man.
I love that guy, man. And I've talked to him on Instagram a few times before, man. But that whole I'm not the plug, I'm the charger. I love that, man.
Gucci and Louis and Prada.
I feel like he just has to build up, man, the goddamn charger.
He's capturing culture and that sound as well, and like making it that Aussie flavor from, you know, obviously
Healthy
the American
Peas,
trap.
bro.
Like
Healthy Peas is such a tight song, man. And but I was saying before, is like a super rare, believable Australian trap rapper, because he's obviously, you know, he's doing it. Like, you know,
real talk, man.
Maybe even probably to a much greater extent than he even lets on. But like, to see somebody go in and buy, you know, absurdly expensive designer clothes with, you know,
got to do something with the cash.
with dirty money is pretty. That's you know, that's what fucking trap rappers in any legitimate culture. That is what they do.
Yeah, man, he looks
Lil
fresh
Sknow
too.
is not fake as fuck.
He
Lil
looks
Sknow is
fucking
real as
fresh
hell.
too, man.
I love Lil Sknow, man. I love, yeah. And Healthy Peas just went insane. Everybody loved that shit, and that was. I don't remember where that was in that set, but it was fucking dope.
It's that perfect mix of everything, man. The video vibe and also the track, the beat.
Yeah,
Just that perfect
just
mix.
so many 50s, and then
I
will
HUSKii
say
with
that
the
I
5.
don't think that stage had ever had so many fresh TNs on it ever.
Yeah, man.
During the curvy set,
it was a Nike sponsored event, bro.
Oh
I
man,
think I even had my Nike these ones on too.
there were so many, and like especially like the Mitchos and Curvy and Kozer, they just were rocking like they must have been out of the box, like so fresh. But
fresh statements, man. Yeah.
TNs, man, they have just taken over.
They're
They were
not cheap shoes, man.
on a low key vibe for a while, like just the cool shoe, and now it's like, man, you're not. I went to the bakery today to get my lunch, and there was a guy in front of me who just was wearing TNs, and I was like, "What are you giving?"
Man, you come from a sneaker perspective, man.
Yeah.
Like they're actually like very well made, crafted.
They're
machines,
comfortable shoes,
like,
are they?
Well, that's the whole sneaker side of it, you know.
Yeah.
TNs is like the Ferrari kind of thing,
Oh,
you know.
is it?
Like it's how.
Is that what they had the yellow label as well?
Not that specifically, but you know what I mean. It's that like they've got the little extra little bits, you know, Air Max 1s and stuff. They're just like the little basic, you know, 90s, but.
Fuck,
they're like the
souped up.
Yeah, the fast cars.
Fuck
yeah.
All right, well, yeah, because I don't really understand the
It's a statement, man. It's like these boys were wearing $250 shoes, man. Like, but
and then within $400 Louis belts and shit like that as well. And then HUSKii and Tryl did Blood Brothers, which just had like crowd screaming every single fucking word. And I mean, it would have been amazing for Tryl to have your first gig and have people like know every single lyric as well, like.
Yeah, everyone was backing him up.
Yeah, of course, man, because he was probably he looked a little nervous and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
he's a king, man.
I'm sure he's a pretty low key guy as well.
He's young too, bro.
Yeah.
Like, by the time he's gonna be at everybody else's age, he's gonna be that experienced. Man.
Yeah, those guys have a funny way of putting out music, though. So you know, I mean, it could be 4 years. He might only have 4 more tracks out. So
yeah, they do that simple Steve very well in a way. You know, like.
They don't feed you too much. They just give you shit, and you love every single one.
Big bangs, man.
Yeah.
Like Wombat as well, bro.
Exactly.
But he's got his EP coming. It's gonna be big.
Yeah. Do you know how many tracks and all that, or
not too sure, man?
I think I hope he keeps it around 6.
There's a lot of things in the works for it. And it's, so far, it's
because Greeley, he you know, he'll probably keep Wombat, you know, going pretty hard as well.
Yeah, one of the godfathers.
The impresario, bro. I like him, and you know, and this is not knocking him at all, but I reckon the perfect analogy for HUSKii is that literally everybody in the room was better at rapping his verse than he was.
Knows all lyrics, bar for bar, man.
Exactly. Like he is like a symbol. Like, you know, people, fuck, man. I mean, you know, probably one of the newest, greatest of all time, authentic, you know, rappers.
He's encapsulating a whole culture.
Yeah,
doing it
and so authentic.
A smart and crazy new sound.
Yeah, fuck, man. He's really special, man, for sure. But I just thought it was just crazy to see, like, you know, and obviously you're right, and that is music. He probably rapping to a massive crowd would be kind of an uncomfortable situation.
You
but
can understand.
just to see, everyone, like, you know, I'm sure he scrawled it in like a different place, and to hear like what he scrawled just like screamed at him by
epic.
Yeah, be epic as fuck.
No, energy is high amongst everybody at the moment.
People were just pumped pumped to see him.
Yeah.
But I would say another, and that was pretty much. I mean, like I think they were the final set, right? Is that the
yeah?
Fuck oath. But got to give props to Body Bag, of course, Bagsy up there as well, filming it.
Big man, he kills it, man.
He kills it, man. He, because he created like. HUSKii would only get as far as he could, get his message to that many people because, he
helped push the movement,
of course,
man, the new generation, like a new platform.
Put him up for ages and stuff like that. So, he really, I just hope he knows like how influential he is and like how much he's done.
He needs to be reminded sometimes, I think.
But like I just have so much,
he's a G, man.
So much respect for him. Like, what Body Bag Media, obviously, like, inspiring you guys to sort of put it out like that as well. Like, he just created, like, that unified brand, like a team. Like,
creating a platform, a team, and an independent and culture as well, man, representing where you're from to some extent.
So do you want to, like, break down, like, the No.1 Network,
No.1 Network, man, just bringing everything together underneath the big umbrella to some extent, like, all the crew.
Who did the art?
Leon is one of the boys. He's a G, man. Crazy artist.
Oath, man.
Yeah, he does his.
Are these all members? Is that?
These are actually all photographs I've taken over time. I just asked him to do a basic logo for us, man. He took all individual photos.
Because obviously, the dog right there, man.
Yeah, and he hooked that up, man. He put that in there.
It looks dope.
Yeah, he's the one underneath me, man. So he did his own little subtle shout out. Shout out Leon G, man. Absolute
Who's that
genius. Well, that's Jaffro, man. Jaffro from Leicester in the UK.
Yeah, right. Okay, I saw the video you put out.
Did a one take with him. Met up with him while I was over there.
Fuck yeah!
And I've actually got music video with Wombat and Jaffro Cannibal. So it'll be the first international grime music video.
Yeah, that's cool because I was trying to figure out who from the boys has a flat top. So that makes sense.
And the shades, man, they're hard. Yeah, Jaffro's a G, man.
Fuck yeah,
he's really doing waves. But yeah, basically. Independent platform for artists, man. Like it's going to be a big focus on the music, but with that, you've got the visual side of things, you've got the artwork, you've got even like the styling, and you got Jackie who hooks us up with all these crazy merch.
Shouts out Lil J's Vintage.
Yeah, it's a big cultural movement to some extent, man. Like the people who design even just the albums and the logo art and stuff, man. These are crazy artists from the scene with crazy backgrounds, and it's good to have a platform where we can push everybody through one body, one umbrella.
Yeah,
umbrella gang.
Umbrella gang.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Well, I think it's not. Well, I feel like you've been doing it for a while, but you've put like a label to
network.
it. Yeah.
We've been pushing the network, but it wasn't enough. We wanted to brand it and create something everyone could get around and know one, man. Like it's not about.
Yeah.
Together we're all a big force, it's not about the one person. And
it's clever. It is, come on, man. A little marketing, bro. A little bit of play on. Yeah, play on. Who came up with No.1 Network?
We all did come together with it, man. Yeah, like we were bubbling with it all. Like we did it proper.
You did like a brains trust.
Since I got back in February, we've all been boiling and coming together and got it all ready. Big launch on Sunday.
So that's pretty much going to be the launch of the network.
Yeah, man. We went and hired out a full proper warehouse studio.
Dude, it looked crazy. It reminded me of the Odd Future Oldie video a little bit.
A little bit of inspiration from that, man. Not gonna lie, but I'd like to think it's got my taste and that flavor to it. We went pretty hard on it and.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, everyone together, man, and we all have a standard, I think, and that's really what's made it unique. Is we all push for a high standard with what we're doing. And shout out to fucking Brainstorm, man, Sam Steenson. He's the OG in it all, man. No.1 Network wouldn't have happened if he didn't put everybody up and let them create the music they do, bro.
In that shed, man,
and absolute G, man. Like,
such a monster. I had to give. I saw him at a gig with. It must have been the Nova Wombat one. I just had to go up and shake his hand. I was like, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah, man.
He's super nice dude as well,
man. Which
super nice dude.
Something we're trying to do with the whole approach, and I think everybody does, is being humble.
Yeah.
Just releasing high standard content, man. Bringing a new vibe.
So expect a lot of big things 2018, then 2019.
Man, we got May on lock.
May's going to be a big one.
May's coming, man.
Fuck, yeah. Well, thanks very much for coming in, man.
No, thank you for reminding me. First time, bro.
Fuck, bro.
Usually on the other side of the camera. And
I mean, Well, I think I just wanted to meet you, bro.
Voice.
I was fanboying hard.
Yeah.
I was fanboying hard. I had to meet you because I was like, who the fuck because you do a pretty good job of being mysterious, bro.
Yeah, this is what I do it for, man. Like the moments like this, you know, in person stuff. Like
Yeah, man. I was
cheers.
Like we just, yeah, man. Well, far out. Fuck yeah, get excited, Brisbane, and extended, I guess. More than
big
just
up
Brisbane.
No Spin, man. Pushing the culture,
We
man.
love
Straight
it, man.
up.
We love it. I have to give Nick props more than anyone, though. Nick's my. He's the only reason I can do it. I don't know fuck anything about this shit.
Yeah, the engineer.
Yeah,
Make it sound good.
he's just my bro. He's the dog. He's the man.
That's it, man. You got to remember your day ones.
Oh, fuck us, man. Nick's-
Shout out the day ones.
Shout out all the day ones, bro. And I just want to give a final, because I've been banging that Triple J side for so much, bro. Feed a pregnant bitch rock and then kill two birds with one
Jeez,
stone.
man. That's one of the hardest bars that come out at the moment, I think.
I just was like, this is on fucking ABC.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
that
pause,
line is
rewind.
filthy.
Yeah, like,
Filthy, man.
Man, ABC, that's even covered that, man.
That's just, that line is like, I just imagine so did it play on ABC? Like,
No, they covered an article on
right.
it.
Oh,
yeah.
thank God. I was like, if that's on television, that's I don't even know. Like,
My grandma would be upset.
yeah, just like, what?
Yeah, that's all right. They can't keep up with how fast he's rapping.
I told my
anyway.
mum that line because I was like, Mum, how reckless is this shit? Like, fuck. They just had the censor button, yeah. But actually, shouts out How as well,
Yeah,
actually.
big up How for
big
doing
How's
that,
a
man.
fucking
It's really an essential part of the hip hop scene, I think, that has been unrecognized. Like,
super
man,
unrecognized.
Look at overseas where the roots come from. It's from the proper street scene and
like
the
getting
real talk.
the legitimizing, like, you know, just being able to be like, this is Triple J, like it adds something to it so much.
Recognition, man. Just a simple recognition, like big up
being like,
How.
yeah,
you
we're
know?
paying attention to this stuff, and fuck
Yeah.
yeah. Well, anyway, we'll knock it off there. Episode 21, man. One of the best gigs I've ever been to. Definitely an amazing experience getting to speak with Kyel GOLLY,
Yeah,
man.
cheers, man.
And you know, maybe you don't know who he is, but if you ever see him, bro, buy him a drink, man. That's the
Big
dog.
ups,
Anyway,
yeah.
Brisbane on the up. No Spin Podcast. Whoa!